What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Sheridan. This is my wife Blue, and our channel is Color Me Conway. So today we are going to talk about a new TV show that came out within like the last couple months.
Yeah, I think in the last month.
Yeah. So for those of you that have heard of Arcane, we're gonna test our hand in reviewing that show.
And that could only mean one thing.
What does it mean, Blue?
There's gay shit in it.
Oh shit, you're right. So we're pretty excited because I think going into the show, neither of us knew that was gonna happen, right?
No.
Just thought it was your classic straight show.
Classic straight show. We're big fans of
animated shows
like adult
anime, adult animation.
Spectrum
is wide.
Yeah. So Arcane, let's talk about it.
So first, should say if you have not seen the show, we're gonna try not to spoil too much, but we are
except for the gay shit.
Yeah, except for the gay shit. So watch at your discretion. We're gonna try to be thoughtful, but things might slip out. So,
and spoiler alert, we do think you should watch this show.
Yes, we do give it a thumbs up.
Flippin' awesome.
It's a great show.
You can binge it in a day if you got the time, because it's going to be that good.
Agreed.
And then, so if you want to go do that and then watch this video, just promise you'll come back.
Yeah, I like that.
General overview of the story before we get into our analysis of it. It follows two sisters. It follows the city of Progress. Piltover. There's an undercity that's poor, that wants independence, or this evil guy he wants it to be its own city, right?
Yeah.
And so there's conflict between those two groups, but there's also conflict within the upper city and the lower city.
Yeah.
And we're focusing then on some scientists who are trying to create magic with science. The council of the city of Progress, the undercity, and its I would call it a dictator, and then two sisters, Vi and Powder. That's like general big picture overview, but we are going to try not to spoil, so here we go.
Yeah, so first things first. Kind of talking through plot a little bit. So
we think it starts kind of slow.
Yeah,
I think that sounded like a lot. That's all introduced to you over the span of like 3 episodes. Yeah. And it's slow.
Yeah, the first, you have to basically get through the first 3 episodes, I feel like, to feel really invested. The show is also, it's based on League of Legends, which neither of us have ever played. So
first of all, I've played League of Legends.
I have not.
I wouldn't say that I've.
So what I would say is it does not take playing the game to appreciate the show and get into it.
Nope.
But I would say that yes, it does start a little bit slower. And the other thing with that is I just wish we got more episodes. Like there's only 9 episodes, and I get that like that's what we're doing with seasons now. Seasons are shorter, episodes are longer. But like I would have just loved maybe 12 episodes to keep developing some of the relationships.
Yeah, you get a time hop. And I would actually think the time hop kind of came later in the season than I would expect, because it's after that time hop that you get invested and you're like, this is a really good show.
Yeah,
and
but
you don't even meet some of the main characters until after that time hop, and I kind of wish that maybe it had been an episode sooner.
Yeah, I agree.
I kind of understand why they did it this way. I'm trying not to spoil anything, so watch it, let us know what you think about that, but I kind of wish that we got even 1 more episode on the other end.
Yeah.
I mean, they did a great job with the plot. I mean, the world building was amazing.
World building was super cool, and I do think they did a good job with character development, building relationships and such.
But we wanted more,
yeah,
I think it was more than just I want more episodes, but it was more like, God, we just watched 9 hours of this, and it's like,
we could have
not much happened.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
second point.
Part 2.
The animation.
Amazing, hands down, so cool.
I don't even know if there's much more to say. The animation is epic. There's one scene in this show that I think might be my favorite scene, and this is how I described the animation of the show. It's like, when you're playing a video game,
Oh yeah.
And you get a cutscene that really adds a lot of value to that game, and it's beautiful, and you get to see all of your favorite characters in this other dimension, and it's cinematic, but it's short, and so it can have that quality. The entire series is the quality of a phenomenal video game cutscene. And there's one scene in particular. There's this battle that happens on this bridge between two of these characters, and they're not even like the main characters, which is one of them is, and one of them is just like this badass that you would not expect this battle to happen between. And it does, and the way they do this scene is one of the coolest scenes, I think, in any, and it comes, I think, second to last episode. It's epic. I mean, the thing about movies and like TV shows with like real people, non-animation, is you are limited to the world, right? But this animation really utilizes animation to show thoughts and feelings without it being too much.
And it's just super unique. Like, I can't think of a single show that's been in this animation style, period.
In this particular,
at least one that I've seen, I can't think of it.
I think Undone, totally different genre, is like a similar, like, unique quality of animation. But this animation it's top notch. It's really more like a video game cutscene.
It's so fun to watch. Like, it's really cool.
Epic.
Drum roll, please. Part 3 is
relationships and
which
character
is
building. Gay alert! The animation style was not the gay thing.
No.
So I will say this.
This is probably going to be the biggest spoiler, I would say.
I will say this. We're not 100% sure if this is not a queer baiting situation.
Yeah.
But we're pretty sure it's not.
And we don't know if season 2 will end up continuing down this path, because
it has to. Otherwise, the gays are going to be pissed.
If you have watched the show, when you do watch the show,
we're going to spoil. Okay, you go.
The way the series ends is it does leave basically a path for the show to like abort the gay relationship because so much turmoil is about to happen. So I do think there's a little bit of risk that we lose it, but I really hope we don't, because I love it so much.
We're gonna tell you about this relationship. There's a main character, Violet, and
she goes by Vi. And she's a total badass.
And then she is from the Undercity. There's another woman from the non-Undercity, the Upper City. Caitlin,
who's an enforcer,
police officer.
Yeah, she's like
really like comes from money. Yeah, she's not even qualified to be an enforcer, and there's a whole thing.
No, she is qualified, but she got it through her rank.
Yeah, well,
she got it because of her family, but let's be very clear. She's a great shot, and she is qualified to be a police officer.
Qualified to be it, but she was having trouble getting a position or whatever. It doesn't matter. Too. But it's just different, right? You know, it's the classic
different
story.
worlds, yes.
And we get a lot of tender moments between these two eventually.
It's amazing.
There's chemistry.
There's
sexy.
So much chemistry, and you can tell they're both into each other, but there's no like physical act that like
there are jokes. That. People refer to them as girlfriends, and like
and like they say things to each other that makes you know that like they're longing for each other. But
and there's a scene.
But there's also, it's like every single time they're together, there's like some hurdle to the video that they have
like
to
stroke each other's cheeks. They pin each other against walls. They are.
It might have been the most exciting thing for me to happen, because when we watched the show, we had no idea that a gay relationship was going to form. So,
apart from the gay stuff, character development, we've got sister bonds, we've got mother-daughter bonds, we've got council people bonds. I mean, we even get a little bit of like a governments and
again, like there's a lot of good character development. We now know a lot about what's going on across the city, like within the council, you know, with Vi and Caitlin, with Powder / Jinx and like her whole crew, but like
that was a spoiler.
If you're fine, everyone's fine.
Yeah, but I mean, on that point, I also think Vi and Caitlin and Powder, they have great character development.
Yeah,
and then like Echo, who I mentioned, he starts getting great character development as well, but we don't see him for a long time. We have Jace and Victor. We get great character development there. Silco. But I think with so much going on, honestly, the best relationship in the whole show is going to be Vi and Powder and Vi and Caitlin.
Yeah.
And I don't even think that's me like being gay biased. I didn't find a lot of the other ones as compelling. I think Victor is a very interesting character.
That'll be an interesting story.
And I think they're trying to make Jace really interesting, but he's boring to me, so like, it's fine. And another thing, I mean, you gotta say it, but this show is being just plowed forward by awesome, awesome female characters.
Amazing.
Epic female characters.
So cool to see. Yes, huge pro for this show for me.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. Definitely, if you haven't seen the show and you watched this, would recommend watching
Character
it.
development A.
If you have seen it, I can't wait for season 2. I'm sure you can't either. It was just a totally awesome show. I'm so excited to see.
It might be one of my favorite like gay potential shows, and
I'm so excited to see what's next. And thank you for watching. If you agree and liked Arcane, please feel free to smash the like button and subscribe. And if you haven't watched Arcane, feel free to just tap that like button anyway, and please subscribe. We appreciate you watching this video. We love this show. I think, you know, we'll end up reviewing more like animated gay shows in the future.
I think we wanted to kind of like organize it a little better on how we did it, but this show came out, I mean, it had queer content.
Yeah. It was so unexpected,
and
so
we
good.
just wanted to be timely and come out with our thoughts on it.
So thank you for watching. We appreciate it, and we'll catch you in the next one.